Imagine a toast, butted side up, strapped to the back of a cat. They fall from a window. Which side will hit the ground first? It's the cat, right? It's obviously the cat. Lots of people call this a paradox, but it's not. It's a joke, and it's not very good. But does it make for a good video game? If the game in question is CATO Butted Cat, the answer is a resounding yes. CATO is one of the cleanest, more consistently entertaining puzzle platformers I've played in years. The emphasis here is definitely on the puzzles. The objective of each level is to reunite the toast and the cat, the two protagonists that can usually move independent of one another. When they are together, they gain the ability to fly, and that instantly takes all the challenge out of the platforming. But normally, this only happens at the very end of a level. Most of the time, you'll be playing both the toast and the cat, individually, at the same time. This can sound intimidating, but in reality, you'll never need to control two characters at once. You never shoot the toast from a cannon while making the cat jump just at the right time to catch his friend mid-air. The cat can't even jump. Meanwhile, the toast can only jump and only at fixed distances. Movement in general is very limited in CATO, but I like it. It means that the puzzle solutions is always in sight, one of only a few possibilities. Levels do get harder as you move through the game. First, the game introduces machines that can move parts of the level that can only be activated by one of the two characters. Toasters, which shoot the toast in a straight line, also appear in the early game. Then come the different types of terrain that block or limit movement, insta-kill hazards, clones that are too complicated to explain here, and more. But you might have noticed that most of those quote-unquote complications add new limits. A cannon moves you far away, but only in one direction, and only if you can get inside. A platform that limits movement tells you where you can't go, but by exclusion it also tells you where you must go. What makes the second half of the game hard aren't the new mechanics, but a treacherous level design that is openly and confidently trying to deceive you. Here's an example. Starting in Late World 2, a little before the halfway mark, the game introduces cannons for the cat tunnels. Normally you enter a cat tunnel on one side and you arrive on the other in a few seconds. If you're shot through it with a cannon, you instantly travel to the tunnel and then through the air in a straight line until you make impact with a hard surface. This gets you through large gaps in the levels as well as some materials like the usually impenetrable jelly. That's how you're supposed to use cannons in World 2. But in World 3, this is no longer the case. The cannons are still there and so is the jelly, but the levels are different. By this point, you've already moved the toast to open the way for the cat to reach the cannon and removed the obstacles that surround the jelly so you can shoot through it and finish the level. Now you're trying to trap the cat inside the jelly, because once you're in, you can swim through it and slowly, gracefully fall out of any of its sides. But first you need to realize that you can do this, you need to realize that that's what you need to do right now, and you need to shoot the cat through the jelly first to position it correctly before you can shoot it again to trap it. I'm not going to lie, sometimes this game is a lot. Most rooms take at most 30 seconds to solve once you know the solution, and usually way less than that, but sometimes they're so long and convoluted, a single level might use every mechanic at once, while trying to subvert one of them in a way you have never seen before. Thankfully, CATO has an exceptional hint system. It's a minimalist system, but it's incredibly effective, and it still requires you to do some thinking. It's not quite a nuclear option of checking a guide or watching a walkthrough. Pressing the hint button in the pause menu draws two symbols on the level's map. Those indicate the position of the cat and the toast right before finishing the level. Sometimes there are more than two symbols, but it's always easy to understand. Figuring out how to get to those positions is easy, since the possibility space is very small, but it still kind of feels like figuring out the level, if with a little hint. I keep saying toast and cat and toast, but that's not exactly what's on the screen right now. Why is the cat so weird? Why is he carrying an onion and sometimes a shark? This game has some costumes, and they're really cute, and if you want the ones I'm showing in this review, you'll find the unlock codes in the video description. Oh, and I should specify I was given those codes by the developers as part of a review copy. I wouldn't normally participate in a publicity stunt from the developers, since I don't want this review to look like an ad. But I think this is fine. It's not like I'm giving away paid skins, you can probably find all those codes on Google already. That said, though it might be unprofessional, I would like to thank the developers for giving me, specifically, the marshmallow skin. I really appreciate the trans cat, thank you very much. CATO Buttered Cat is a fun little puzzle platformer with a cute art style and lots of personality. It's a little on the short side, but it's long enough to slowly ramp up in difficulty over time. You can finish the whole 5 world and 200 levels in 8 to 10 hours, which is just right for this game. CATO also has lots of variation. It varies massively from world to world, with different boss fights and special levels at the end of each, and a decent amount of hidden extra challenges. Some levels are not levels at all, they're fun Rube Goldberg machines. You turn them on and watch them go, and that counts as variety as far as I'm concerned. CATO Buttered Cat is a great game all round. If you have a PC and €10 with 10 hours to spare, I cannot recommend it enough.